I was telling some of the intercessors, I said, when I came on the scene many years ago, I was the only charismatic preacher in this country, Togo, La Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan, so many countries, and certain parts of Europe. And it went into my head. I used to run the biggest services in town. I was huge. Everybody was coming to Action, and they were coming to my services. And I started misbehaving towards my spiritual father, Idahosa, and even Maurice Rello. And there was a time that some of my friends I dealt with where they had issues with Idahosa because of his style. He was very, very courageous and bold, and he had no respect for protocols of men. And that created a lot of problems for him. And some of my friends would complain in Europe, Africa, and America that why are you relating to this man? And at a point, as I kept hearing those negative things, I started having a bad feeling about the old man. So one time I was flying with him, and I said, Papa, I want to ask you a question. He said, go ahead. And I said, why is it that you have many enemies? He just looked at me, and I think he looked at me, and I didn't know what was going on in his head. And I said, a lot of my friends don't like you, and they don't want me to relate to you because they think it will affect my reputation that I'm a young preacher coming on, and a lot of people like me. I haven't made mistakes. I haven't been tested and tried yet. So I'm loved and I'm liked. So I don't want your reputation to tarnish mine. But I didn't tell him that because he could have slapped me or could have beaten me. Oh yeah, he didn't play at all. So I didn't go to that extent, but that was what I meant. So you can say something and mean something different from what you say. So anyway, he didn't say anything. You know what he did? He said, my son, he spoke pidgin English. He said, one day, Hippopotamus, the child, said to him, Mama, what did make your mouth big like that? And the mother said, Bamba, you go grow. That is all he said. He didn't say anything again. And then he just bowed his head till we landed. And I also didn't say anything. It took me 20 years to understand Bamba Yugogoro. 20 years. And I also had sons in ministry who started betraying me and didn't want to relate to me. They wouldn't pick my call. They had all kinds of attitude towards me. And that's why Paul said, don't be ashamed of me because of my bonds. So fathers can go through situations, very shameful situations. And if you're a son and a daughter, you are not careful, and you want to be in the good books of people, you want to be the latest person in town, you want to be the biggest person and the most acceptable person in town, and you want to build on a reputation and not know that even Jesus had no reputation, and Jesus had himself dealt with shame. He had to despise the shame to focus on his assignment, and that fathers deal with shame. They do. And I realized that the challenges I had with Dr. Sorello and Maurice Sorello, it was catching up with me too. A lot of people started having issues with me, disliking me, misrepresented everything I said. And I was seeing the same challenges I saw in their lives happening to me, and a lot of my sons were relating to me the same way I was relating to them, being ashamed of them, not wanting to be close to them. And sometimes I would preach and say things to look good and to look better than them. As I began to check my motives, I realized that I was making a lot of mistakes. And years after, those things came back to bite me. Hear me. If you've been doing wrong by others and you think you've gotten away with it for whatever reason, for money, power, connection, influence, and you think it's not catching up with you, it's a joke. Make no mistake, it's a matter of time. It will catch up with you. And it will catch up with your children if you have some. And it will catch up with your loved one. It's just a matter of time. So as long as you live, learn to do right by others. Learn to do right by others. Even when you are right, still do right by others.